Welcome along to another video presentation from saturnalliance. This video presentation will focus on the benefits of shadow copy on Windows Small Business Server 2003. Help us continue to make material like this available. If you find this video beneficial, we would ask you to make a donation towards helping us improve what we currently provide. All donations, no matter how small, will ensure the continuation and improvement of our offerings. To make a donation, please go to donation.saturnalliance.com.au. To access the volume shadow copies on the server, simply bring up the Windows Explorer or the File Manager, right mouse click on the drive and select Properties. You'll notice there's a tab here called Shadow Copies. Select that and that will give us the current settings for the shadow copies. In this case, we see that we have shadow copy enabled only on our E drive, which in our case is on the data drive and is currently using 363 megabytes. Volume shadow copy operates on the shares within a volume, and you'll notice here that it's currently disabled on C and D, even though there are multiple shares. You can see from the buttons here that we can disable the current setting. We can also go into select more details, again how much information space is used, and we can also edit the schedule. As you can see down the bottom here, we have a number of shadow copies that have already run. If I wanted to, I can simply click and run another one here. On SBS by default, the volume shadow copies are enabled on the volume on which your user data is stored. Once you've configured this now means that during periods of the day, an automatic backup is taken of the data on your small business server. To see this, what we'll do is we'll swap across to a workstation that's connected to our small business server. The first thing you need to ensure is that the volume shadow copy client is installed on the workstation. Normally this is installed as part of the normal Add Computer wizard that comes with part of Small Business Server, but can be added manually via client apps. If we want to restore a file that has been deleted via volume shadow copy, the first thing we need to do is to navigate to the location where the file was through our network places. So again, we go Network Places, Entire Network, Microsoft Network, the domain, and then the server. In our case, under Users, we'll find a folder called Robert. Currently, this holds no information. We have a file here that we wish to restore using volume shadow copy. To do this, we simply right mouse click in the area and select Properties. You'll notice that there's a tab here denoted Previous Versions. This tab will not appear unless the volume shadow client is installed on the workstation. Simply select the Previous Version tab and you'll notice there are two previous copies that we can examine of this folder. So we select the first one and we can select View. Now you'll see that the file that we're trying to restore has been held in volume shadow copy. Simply to restore it, we can right mouse click and we can send it to save, or we can copy it and then we can paste it back in our original location. It's as simple as that to restore a file. Again, if we work on a file and we find that we've made a mistake and we wish to restore a previous version, this again can be done by right mouse clicking on the file, selecting Properties, selecting the Previous Versions tab, and you'll see at this time there are currently no previous versions because I've just restored the file. However, if there are versions that have been saved with volume shadow copy, you'll be able to restore them by simply clicking on it and selecting Restore. Once again, this functionality It's called Volume Shadow Copy and is enabled automatically on the data volumes of your small business server. Again, to access the properties, you go to the server, right mouse click on the volume, select properties, then shadow copies, where you can configure all the settings for the server, including the schedule. Once this is enabled, any workstation that has been set up with the small business server wizard has the ability to be able to restore files and also previous versions of files that have been backed up using Volume Shadow Copy. Please note that this restoration process requires the installation of the client software as well as navigating to the location through the entire network on Windows Explorer. Thank you very much for listening.